Representative Hice for your.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Secretary Holland. Again, as you've heard many times today, welcome back and congratulations on your new position. You may remember from the time when you were here that my particular district we're rich in history in this country, and one of the Revolutionary War sites was the Kettle Creek battlefield site, and we are pleased that this past year Kettle Creek was given the status of a National Park Service affiliated site. And I want to thank everyone on this committee, both sides of the aisle, for participating in that action. That is very appropriate, and it was very much welcome in our district. And also for the Department of Interior for the role in that, particularly under the Trump administration while we were working through all those details. I would like to say that since this current administration, our office has reached out a number of times to the Department of Interior to try to finalize the events for Kettle Creek and the presentation of the NPS arrowhead to the site. And unfortunately, to this point, we've had little to no communication with them. And I would like to know if you have any updates, if you have any information on the event or the awarding of the arrowhead for Kettle Creek.
Congressman, on the top of my head, I do not, but I will make sure that I go back this afternoon and ensure that somebody contacts your office and lets you know what the status is on that. And
Okay,
thank you for bringing that up to me today.
Thank you. We really would appreciate that. As
Yes,
you can
of
imagine,
course.
that is a big deal for our district, and particularly those that have worked tirelessly, literally for decades, to get recognition of Kettle Creek. And so I welcome working with your department, and would in advance invite you to be a part of that ceremony when it takes place. We would be honored to have you. With that, if I could transition, looking at the budgetary proposal here, the increase is pretty staggering, 17%. I think that's a significant amount. How in the world are we going to pay for these increases?
Thank you very much for the question, Congressman. And that is a question that I could actually turn over to Rachel, if you can answer that, Rachel.
Certainly. I mean, I think the president's budget includes more than the Interior Department, and so there are some assumptions for revenues and tax policy that are associated with it. I mean, the president has made clear that he views this as a balanced budget that's going to help, a balanced in the sense of a budget that reflects the priorities of the nation and is going to produce the kind of economic growth that is necessary, that will help address some of the needs. So I would say that, I would reflect you back to the bigger budget picture and realize that Interior is just a piece of that, and that we feel that these investments that the president has given us in his budget request are very vital to fulfilling the department's mission.
Well, I understand that, but it doesn't really answer the question of how are we going to pay for any of this, be it the Department of Interior or the broader budget as a whole. And I know there have been proposed tax increases, which will weigh heavily on the American citizen, and I think this, it is only fair that the American people know what's coming and how these type of increases, be it with Interior or any other department, raising such budgets as what is being proposed, it's going to fall on the taxpayer. And we need an honest assessment of that. I would also bring up regarding the Interior portion here, it seems to me that the National Park Service maintenance backlog is not addressed at all in this. I can't find it. Or forest management, as has already been brought up. What are the plans to address those issues?
Thanks for the question. I can take on two pieces of that. With respect to the forest management and the fuels reduction budget, the budget actually does include some increased funding. We have with the Interior Bureaus, we have a $100 million investment that includes forest health programs, fuels management, and burned area restoration that would address some of the treatments that you're describing. And then with respect to the maintenance backlog, the budget does include a 13% increase for the National Park Service overall. We're sustaining investments and drawing on the Great American Outdoors Act that this committee supported, so which has become vital for the department. We have about $1.6 billion across the department that's going to address the deferred maintenance backlog that you mentioned, and is going to make the investments that are going to help us get ahead of that issue in a better way. Thank you.
Gentleman yields. Let me recognize